Okay, we're here tonight. It's not a bit of ground I come to very often. A good friend of mine, Peter, who owns this. It's perfect habitat for foxes. You've got a river coming through it, but the reason we're here tonight is just to try and balance things up a bit. There's too many here. Like I said, he loves his wildlife. He's got plenty of deer on here, probably about 8 or 9. It's only 55 acres, some muntjac as well. Massive bird feeding station at his house, so the man, he's seriously into his wildlife, but very good friend. We've talked about it, and he said, can I just come down and reduce a few numbers? We're not trying to wipe them out. This is not a big shoot. This is solely for conservation of the rest of the wildlife on this ground. So let me just explain it. Like I said, it's 55 acres. At the moment, all the meadows, they're what they call late cut hay. I believe it's a wildlife thing, gives the butterflies and all the rest of it a chance to come off before they actually harvest the hay. So in the whole of the 55 acres, you basically look down there, and I've got such a small window where the workers are using this track quite regular. So the only chance we were ever going to get of actually taking a few of these foxes out is obviously I've had to bait. So I started baiting. We're here on Friday night now. Tuesday, I come down. Now because the workers are driving this quite regular, I didn't want to throw a lot of carrion down there. So I've used cat food, a bit of pet food. I've scattered it around, and I've topped this up every evening, early in the evening. Of course, it come to Wednesday, and I'm starting to think, I'm pretty sure I've attracted a fox. Like I said, it's going to use this track anyway. There's an oak tree just to the left where there's a gap going into the other field. I looked, there's quite a good run coming out of there as well. So I'm pretty confident that a fox, they've found this, and they're coming this every night regularly. But I did save my chicken carcass from my Sunday lunch. So, be it in the fridge, so I brought that here Wednesday night. I just hid it back into the long grass, just off the track. Come here Thursday morning, that had gone. Completely confirming to me, really, that I've got a fox or foxes coming in regular. So, I'm pretty confident that we're going to, be able to do some good here tonight. We come here quite early, this time of year. And this is probably when a lot of people make mistakes with their chickens. They always feel, as long as I'm back home, get them put away before dark, everything's going to be safe. Well, that's not the case. Foxes this time of year move earlier than what they do in the winter. Even more so in about 4 or 5 weeks when the cubs are up, almost like 3/4 grown. They're ranging midday. They'll come up, you can go off to work, go shopping, especially if you live rural, come back, and all your chickens are done. So we've come here, we're setting ourselves up really early. My favourite saying is, there's no such thing as being too early, but there is being too late. I'd sit here all night thinking, Christ, has it already come? So like I said, I have baited it up earlier, and I'm pretty confident that we should be able to get a fox or two tonight. Okay, so set up. Obviously, I've got myself set up on the top of my truck. I've got a perfect bit of ground. It goes up, it's elevated, but this gives me just a bit more elevation. Also, if it does stay in the longer grass, I do have a chance of possibly taking a headshot on or so forth. It's not going to take no notice of this vehicle. We've got a nice background behind us, so this is the reason I put my dog bed on the top. Stops any noise. Good old Saxon's dog bed. But no kit. I never go anywhere without my binoculars, because if it might be a nice roebuck comes along later on, I'm definitely going to be able to want to look at him. Thermal spotter. Changed my whole prospect really of hunting, as I'm sure everybody, even in the daytime, you pick up that heat source where I can remember before I had a spotter, you'd be sat and be waiting for a fox to come out, and you look out in the field and he's out there. It's like he's come out of the ground like a mushroom. But with the spotter, this never happens anymore. 243, 58 grain Winchester vermit round. Use it all the time, love it. But what I want to talk to you about is this new bit of kit I've got on the top. ATM have very kindly sent this down for me to use. Now, this is simplest. Okay, right, now the train's gone. Obviously, that buggered up for a minute. Right, the ATM, Excite, LTV, brilliant. Now, I'm not a real techno lad. This, to set up, was so easy. I've done the one shot. The actual instructions were like this, but it was so straightforward. I have to admit, I have looked at one or two of the other bits, and I think you need a degree from NASA to use them. That's not true. I'm just not one of those people who like to look through all these instructions. They've got too many toys on them. This is for shooting. So like I say, simplicity, you've got easy controls. It comes in a box. It's got its own IR even. Its own mounts, which I'm going to use. I'm going to use all of its own stuff. This piece on the back is optional. Now, the reason I put it on is because, obviously, I do a lot of night shooting. That's when I kill most of my foxes. Again, me being just that old traditionalist type of guy, it would kill me to think that that was lighting up my face and a fox could see it. So, hence, I've got the rubber cover. And, yeah, I'm over the moon with it. I've killed 2 foxes with it already. I had a little bit of problem just myself. Again, user error. The first time I took it out, it was a bit raining. I had the flood on too much, and I thought it was whiting out because it was moist, and it wasn't. It was me. So it's worth playing about with these things, getting used to them. But it shoots absolutely spot on, and I'm enjoying bringing you some video footage of some of the kills I get with it. Okay, right. So we've got ourselves set up. Now, I know we can all shoot. But for me, it's the field craft and it's positioning yourself. So to be honest with you, the shot is the easiest part of tonight. You know, like I said, I might have to take a headshot tonight or whatever. So the better I prepare myself, the easier it is for me to make this shot with confidence. The reason you lose your confidence when taking a shot is because you're moving. The more you move, the more your confidence goes, the more you snatch at a shot. And then obviously your strike rate drops down. It's pretty tough when you've been sat for 3 or 4 hours and then you miss the bugger. I know one thing, I don't enjoy it. The odd occasion is pretty shit feeling. One more thing about this scope also is I leave it turned on, unlike my last one, because the battery just gets sucked out of it. This actually lasts for 10 hours. Now, I haven't put that to the total test, but I'm only ever going to be out about 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours maybe. I leave it turned on. I keep it dulled because I believe if you keep it suppressed, you definitely will get the battery life from it. But again, it's one less thing you've got to worry about. The fox comes. This is what's happened up to now. I've just quickly turned the light up, zoomed it if I've needed to. It's simplicity in itself. So I'm really looking forward to tonight, and hopefully I can get you some video shots. Well, that's not bad. We sat here, I was hoping to get it in daylight. No, it's pitch black now. We've been sat here 3 hours. We first picked up a thermal blob coming down the side of the railway line. Pretty sure it was a fox, but you never know. Put Emily on the spotter. I was just checking to make sure I had good vision, the IR on and everything else. As I'm looking down the track, just where we were baited, fox come onto the track. It stopped, it looked up this way, We started to then it coming back another 5 yards, and then it sat bolt upright, looking straight at us. Well, it doesn't give you a big shot, but again, down to getting the rest sorted out. The shot's then a formality. We've taken the shot, we've killed our fox, 120 yards away. The bait had worked, it was coming to the bait. When you think we had this one strip, 55 acres, we had this one strip of a window to shoot this fox. So through Fieldcraft, we've got the wind in our face, we've put the bait, baited for 3 or 4 nights, sat here tonight, bit of patience, and there's our fox down, and we're going to go and pick him up. Oh well, here she is. Yeah, couldn't have hit her straighter. Well look, Barren Vixen. Now, that's a classic example of an overpopulated area. You can clearly see she's had no cubs whatsoever. Yeah, just confirms what I say. A lot of foxes in this area. The alpha vixens are the only ones that are breeding. She might have been last year's her last year's one. She might have assisted taking some food in and what have you. But well, I'm quite pleased because, you know, you do feel a little bit when you've got a vixen there and she's been suckled. I know we've got to do this job, but I'm over the moon with this. It's a perfect fox to get, to show you all. She's in good nick. And well, she died instantly, and I think as fox controllers, you know, if we want to be professional, we want to try and achieve that every time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. We got the shot on record, and yeah, fantastic, great night.